We are now live on Twitch, and we are doing a little bit of a different stream. Normally, this is our chief chat for Ember, and we are doing a little bit different because of a phenomenon that has occurred in the MMO world, literally, called New World. New World has debuted with a unheard of 700,000 concurrent players. That means they've probably got anywhere from 3 to 5 million registered accounts already, and the game's only been out for a couple days. It is absolutely smashing records, and it is a mystery to me as to why. Because when I put 3 hours into this game yesterday, and I don't get it. So we're gonna try. Maybe you guys can help me figure this out as we stream this today. And I'm gonna get started here. This is my character. This is Grums. It's one name for the entire region. So if you don't reserve this, you're not never gonna get it. So I was lucky to get it. All right. So let's see if we can get into this game. This is by Amazon, and it's been on my radar for a while, but I've never been interested into it because it just looks so freaking bland to me. And I'm much more of the high fantasy, and I guess this is kind of like historical-ish. You are on a supernatural island. You're shipwrecked here. Everyone who comes to this island is shipwrecked here and can't get off the island. And you can see here's the totality of the current world map, as I'm told. I asked on stream the other day, I said, how big is the world? This is the world map. Now, that's not necessarily bad. I mean, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have a huge initial world either in A Realm Reborn, the initial part of the game. But it's used very well. And so I want to figure this out. This game launched as when they was announced as a PvP game. It was a PvP looter game. But during, I guess, alpha or beta, when they tried it, they figured out that people really weren't into that, how they had it spec'd. And so they revamped the game to be PvE and a huge focus on crafting. So we are in this game. I'm like I said, I'm about 3 hours in. Almost 4. And I'm doing quests here, and so far I don't get it. I do not get why this game is so popular. Maybe I'm slipping as an MMO designer, but everything is pretty basic so far. Combat's different, but we've had MMOs with plenty of combat differences before. And why are none of my abilities hot slotted? Okay, no, they are. Okay, so you have a little bit like Ember. You have a main weapon that you can swing. Where's my weapon? Okay. I just played this yesterday, and I'm figuring out why isn't everything equipped as I left it. Okay, so it's, there we go. Oh. There we go. So it's interrupted if I'm swinging. So I wanted to make a giant hammer, and I crafted this hammer. There's a crafting system in here. And you have a basic attack, and if I hold down the mouse button, you get a long attack. And then I have 2 abilities here that you can slot. So there's like a heavy thrust, and then this one's kind of like their AoE. So you can kind of do that. Kind of reminds me of Valheim a little bit. And you can also block. Oh, freezing. You can block by holding down the other mouse button. And it's not really a timed block. This doesn't seem to eat stamina when I hold this up. I could be wrong. But it seems like I could just do this forever and block. All right, and there's no global cooldown, so you saw that my abilities refresh right there. And there's apparently no real, or it's very slow health regen, and so you have to eat food to do it. But apparently the big thing is that this game is about crafting, right? And so you can go up here and Is the crafting menu here? I forget. Oh, no, I have to do a campfire or go to a crafting station. Okay. So, but we're going to go do this quest over here. I'm supposed to talk to Albert Riches. I made my respawn camp, which you can make with the Y key, and that gives you a temporary respawn location. So, I mean, it's pretty standard fare, right? You go out there, there's quests, you kill mobs. And I'm kind of wondering, what is the shtick, right? Every MMO kind of has a focus for it to stand out. I mean, this is conventional wisdom. If you want your MMO to succeed, you kind of have to have... Okay, my monitor's blinking out, guys. I'm going to have to... come back to me. All right. Apparently my USB on my second monitor is fritzing out, so I'm going to disconnect it, which means I won't be able to see you in Discord chat. So if you are chatting to me, please chat in Twitch so I can see you. And if you haven't followed me on Twitch yet, please do so there. I will not be able to see Discord chat, but if there's something important there, I'm sure the moderators can point it out to me. I just had to... My second monitor is a USB monitor, and it's been on the fritz. So I think that is why the game is freezing, and I don't want it to freeze, so I just disconnected it. All right, so yeah, this game is, to put it in perspective, this game is beating everything on Steam right now, with the exception of Counter-Strike. It's neck and neck with Counter-Strike. It is not just huge for an MMO, it is absolutely huge for any single-player game. I've never seen a launch like this before. It's dominating even over like Apex Legends. I don't get it. Now, there are some clues. One clue is that they went heavy streamer marketing, and Amazon does own Twitch. And so what they did was they paid a bunch of big streamers to stream it, and they have a cosmetic code program, and I guess a bunch of codes, that drop if you're watching streams for this on Twitch. And since they control Twitch, I'm pretty sure they control the algorithm, and they can make sure that this thing is fully promoted on Twitch. The other clue is that World of Warcraft has pretty much imploded between Blizzard's drama and what they've done to the game. There's lots of upset people looking for a new MMO, and there are no new MMOs. There's a bunch of like older ones like Final Fantasy XIV that did enjoy a resurgence, but nothing on the scale of New World. But New World is right place, right time. Okay, Laughing Man says it's about 12 hours of stream watching to get all of the cosmetic drops. There's some people who don't like high fantasy, sure, and they like low fantasy. Maybe that's it. But this is not even... This is kind of weird, right? It's not even like Elder Scrolls or Skyrim. It's got a very... what is this year period? Is it 1600s feel or 1300s feel? It's very period reflective. And so the big question is, are they going to be able to keep 700,000 users? And what is the draw for this game for you? I'll talk about what the draw is for me, but I'm interested. I'm watching chat. I want to know, as you see me play, what the draw of this game would be for you. Because obviously I'm missing something. Because in 3 hours of playing, I haven't found the hook yet. Now, I haven't found the hook. I didn't find that with Final Fantasy XIV either the first time I tried it for 3 hours. But then when I played it again a year later, I was hooked for a number of reasons, but which I'll talk about later. But right now, let's go ahead and do this. So I got to talk to Albert Reeves. I've got a waypoint marker up here. Looks like he might be over in that hut. If this is a resurgence for MMOs, it's actually good for everybody. It's good for everybody. It's good for Em8er. Okay, I can't jump up there. Because a new interest in MMOs, especially if they offer new things, would be a very good thing. You get, obviously there'll be more players checking it out. Where is this guy? Oh, I'm in the completely wrong place. Wonder if I'm supposed to go around. Nope, I got it.
Here comes someone with a little swagger, and something from those wolves too, I suspect. Yes, This one's got what it takes, sure enough. I had a feeling that would be the case.
Oh, is there no subscription for New World? That's interesting. What's the business model?
Rumors say that corruption has spread inland. Some type of breach is opening up everywhere. We should have started preparing many moons ago.
So a big thing is that there's corruption on the island. You had to go check it out, and
As it should be.
seems to be the running theme.
Magistrate Bond has heard about these breaches. She'll be half mad with worry. Go ask if you can help. Don't be a stranger, though. I want to speak to you again.
Well, that's interesting because that means, you know, New World has this exact same model as Em8er, which is you buy the game, there's no mandatory subscription, and it's mainly cosmetics. But if you're going to sell cosmetics, you know, yeah, it sounds like they've been listening to me. If you're going to sell cosmetics, what I found is if you limit your setting like this, you can't sell as many cool cosmetics. That you have to be willing to get a little goofy. You have to be willing to break theme in order to have really, really profitable cosmetics. It's cosmetics that people will really want. And if you stick to a realistic theme like this, I think you're going to find monetizing just purely on cosmetics can be a little limiting. You got to have your beer hats and your cat ears. If you don't sell cat ears, you're missing out. Well, I think you'd play this over, you know, Rare PNY asks, possible question, why would a person play New World over ESO or Guild Wars 2? Just because it's new? It's the new hotness, new thing in town? I mean, the graphics look good. I mean, this looks great. And it runs well. Unless you have a 3090 or a 3080. Apparently it's, is it the 3080 or 3090s that are starting to melt down again? Early in beta, they had an issue with, I think it was EVGA or something, high-end 3080 melting down. And it turned out to be a manufacturer defect, and so EVGA replaced the cards. It wasn't their fault at all. It wasn't Amazon's fault whatsoever. All right. Totally forgot what my quest was here. Town project. First light. Acquire and deliver 40 oil. Okay. It wasn't just uncapped FPS, please ban me. It was actually an EVGA firmware issue. And in combination with high frame rates, yeah. All right, so I got to get some oil. I have no idea how to get oil. Can I jump off this platform to my death? Nope. Oh, you can dodge too. If you hold shift, you can dodge.
Rumors say that corruption has spread inland, as it should be. If Magistrate Bond has heard about these breaches, she'll be half mad with worry. Go ask if you can help. Don't be a stranger, though.
Okay, sending us back to the magistrate to ask. So I don't know if there's anything like raiding in this game. I don't know what the end game is. Raiding is often the end game. I have no sense of what the end game might be.
There you are. I was starting to worry. Have you heard these rumors of corruption breaches opening up everywhere?
Yes, I have.
Of course. He probably foresaw all this. That man is touched, I tell you. If news of these corruption breaches opening up everywhere is true, we need all the help we can get. You've surely noticed by now the presence of the Marauders, the Syndicate, and the Covenant in town. Recently, these groups have become quite influential. You're right, of course. Whether the Constable approves or not. After you speak with them, you'll have to choose for yourself which one will make the best ally. Oh, and do make sure to check in with me again afterwards.
All right. So we have to speak with 3 factions. I guess these were the original PvP factions that were planned for the game before they changed it into a PvE-focused game. But, I mean, this town is packed. Look at how many people are here. But they all look the same. You know, it's not like the fashion festival that Final Fantasy is, or even WoW. You know, everything is just kind of bland. And that kind of worries me for, like, what do I want to chase? You know, I'm not entirely sure. I gotta talk to 3 people here. Is there a guy in here? Oh, there's a wall here. And, oh, I hate that. I cannot hop over this wall. Talk about immersion breaking. That really annoys me. Why? Yes, I know it's an invisible wall, but why have an invisible wall there? It's not to protect me from falling. Oh, okay, and this is their housing system, which I really hope this isn't the way it is, but I guess it's instanced, right? And starts off as empty until someone buys it, and then you furnish it. The problem I have with this is it just looks like this. And I guess if you fix it up, in your instance it looks cool, but other players can grab this space too. And is it always just going to look this way, or is it going to look better over time? That's what I was suggesting on last stream, Giga, that the person with the highest standing gets to determine the outer look of the house. That would be cool. I think that would be cool. If the person with the highest standing who decorated their place the best or invested the most money into it could display it, then okay, that's kind of cool. This is the crafting area. And where are these people I'm supposed to talk to? This is the weakness of a compass over a minimap, I have to say. Which is funny because Em8er uses the compass, right? Okay, that's a house. Can't go in there. How do I get to you? Is that if I had a minimap, rather than just heading directly towards it and hitting all these obstacles, I could sort of go around and figure out that's outside. Figure out where they are. But right now I just gotta like hunt this. I guess I can open up my map, and if I click and zoom in, then I can see it. But I mean, how's that gonna help me when I'm moving around? So I'm here. I guess I gotta go, I don't know, left and then here. Yeah, the diamond doesn't show up in world, right? So I can't see it through walls or anything like that. 18 meters. Marauders, Syndicate, and Covenant. Okay, so I guess the guy is here. 9 meters. Okay, this is the first awkwardness I've had with the UI. The UI has generally been really good.
The Syndicate is the only lifeline out of this cesspool.
The UI has been really good and polished, and this is the first time I've had trouble with something.
The Syndicate offers only this: the pursuit of truth. Raw, bracingly code truth. If you prefer the warm blanket of denial, or the intoxicating elixir of conquest, choose another.
Okay, so we talked to her. So I guess it's anyone with a flag. Now I know to look for the flag, right? Or the banner. Meters. Need to live for you. This is actually research. I would be remiss if I didn't play the most successful MMO launch of all time to figure out what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. If I just ignore this completely, it would be a problem. I wasn't planning on playing this, but I dropped everything to figure out why is this game, why does it have 700,000 concurrent users already within the first few days. That said, we are working on the Tsihu locomotion system. We're working on the frames. I think you'll be happy with that. We're working on a reissue of the bunny outfit, a relaunch of that. And we have a new terrain system that we're testing. So, stuff is going on.
We seek and share the inspiration of the spark. Hope is for all people, and in all people we nourish hope.
Need to live for you. Are you a backer? Or did you just come here to say, talk about stuff? Yeah, you are a backer. All right, email me. Or DM me on Discord. If you have a problem, I'd be glad to explain to you why sometimes these games are important to play.
We covenant uphold the
I'm always
sacred
available.
duty to
You got a problem?
safeguard this
DM me
spark.
directly.
This is the light that burns in the soul of every person. Without belief, without purpose,
All right, one more to go.
the spark extinguishes.
I can't get to your DM right now, obviously, but I will respond to you. I always respond to everybody. You got to consume your media. If you're going to be a writer, you should read books. If you're going to be making an MMO, you should be playing the leading MMOs. At Blizzard, we always did. We always played the other games. In fact, we had a free game library, and we would have game days where the entire... If an important game like this came out that was an outlier for some reason, we would take the whole team down for World of Warcraft, and we would have them play. And then we'd talk about it afterwards. So this is nothing new to AAA development. And as an indie game, it's important too. We literally would take the entire team down. No, go back up the ladder. Am I going in circles here? Man, I really hate this. Okay, we talked to that guy. Is he up here on the ship?
You look like you still got your...
So are there still
legs.
PvP factions in the game?
You'll be right at home here with us. We marauders are pirates, but on land.
Land pirates.
Aye, we marauders are a hardy bunch. We see this land here is ripe for the taking, and it's going to be us.
Oh, it's
taking it.
RVRBR.
Might
Okay,
may
that's
not be
interesting.
Right, but it sure is better than having your fate decided by others.
All right. I'm not a PvPer, so am I going to be railroaded into PvP? No, optional. One thing I hated about Destiny was if I wanted to unlock Ace of Spades or any of the guns I wanted, there was usually a PvP section that I had to get through. And the only PvP I liked was in Destiny 2 was the PvPvE scenario with the gambler. I forget what it's called.
Gambit.
Thank you, Gambit. Why isn't she yellow if...
Meet with each of the 3 factions and decide which is best.
Wow, that's interesting. Normally it's yellow.
Sadly, in this day and age, I don't think you'll get far without aligning with one of them. Yes, the factions can be quite infantile, but as I'm sure you've noticed, they're very influential around here.
All right, so obviously this is not a great impression so far because we're just doing town fetch quests. So hopefully we'll get a quest here pretty soon. So I'm being forced to join a faction right now, and I really don't know which one I want to join. I think the ones that seek truth, the trade skilling ones. Where are they? Are they up here? Marauders, no. Covenant. Syndicate. I think it's, let's see, who is over here? Zoom out the map? Why? Is that the 3 territories? Green, purple, orange? I don't game as often as I should off stream. Although lately I've been playing, I mean, a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, but I haven't really been on much lately.
I see that inquisitive spark.
Syndicate, yes.
It is the same with us.
Complete missions for XP coin and faction tokens earn influence to determine territory. So there's territory control. Interesting. Like Em8er. Complete strategically against enemy factions in PvP. Spend faction tokens on special weapons, armor, and consumables. Earn ranks to unlock advanced tiers and crafting components. Reduce work for workshops. Okay, I decided I want my character to focus on crafting since that's supposed to be a big thing. So reduce cost for workshops sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, assuming that that's what I need to craft. Complete town missions, upgrade the settlement. You can flag for PvP at enemy settlement. Earn additional XP while you're flagged. Oh, interesting. So you can be PvP in the world. Faction members of controlling faction enjoy benefits in territory and settlement. Controlling factions reinforce control by completing PvP faction missions. Opposed factions undermine enemy factions' controls by completing. Okay. Earn influence. And there's 50 versus 50 siege combat at a territory's fortress. Okay. Utilize a variety of siege weapons. You know what I like so far? There's no zoning that I've encountered yet. I haven't tried going from one territory to another zone, but there's I haven't hit a loading screen yet, and I like that. Territory influence is a measure of a faction's control of a territory. Complete faction PvP missions to retain control of a territory. The factions that do not control that territory must compete PvP faction missions to enable a declaration of war. Okay, so you can declare war over a new zone. Controlling factions reinforce control by completing PvP factions. What? Incoming downtime? No! Well, I already selected the syndicate, didn't I?
Now that you are one of us, you will have access to vast knowledge in time. But first, I have a challenge for you.
Oh, you do?
We will see, won't we? You have joined the Syndicate because you do not wish to spend eternity wallowing in ignorance. The only question that remains is whether you have the stomach for it. The truth, of course, and the price it demands. One of our number failed in Dayspring Mills, and many research notes were lost. Recover them, and we will talk.
This feels more like a caster's syndicate. The syndicate feels more like a caster's thing, and I'm a melee guy, so I don't know if I made the right choice here. I said I was going to be One Punch Man. My goal was to make my character kill anything with one hammer blow, because Or a punch, but I don't think I'll be very effective with just punching in this game. Travel to Dayspring Mills. Okay, so we got to go up there. Yeah, I do like the idea of faction control, for sure. I mean, that's, you know, in Em8er, you're fighting over territory as well. But you're fighting not against other players, but against, you know, a group of NPCs. Yeah, there's no loading screens yet. And does anybody know if there's a loading screen between zones? Or is this completely seamless? Ooh, seamless. I like that. There's a loading screen for dungeons only. See, I think that it's so good for the sense of world immersion to never hit a loading screen. Yep. Let's do this. You won't see me dodge or parry because I've decided I want to experience this game and develop the character without doing any of that. But I'll show you how it works. So basically, I can hold this up, and it does consume stamina when they hit me, but I can just basically hold this up forever. Until I run out of, until they hit me enough times. So it's not quite, someone was asking me on Twitter, is it like Dark Souls? No, it's nothing like Dark Souls. There's no timing of the parries or anything like that. Which, to be fair, for an MMO, makes the networking a lot simpler. Okay, search chest for abandoned research notes. Alright. So blue glowies, folks. Nothing there. Nothing there. Let's see what these in this supply crate. Oh, I got some research notes and a weak solvent. Oh, I didn't pay attention to my hit points. I forgot to eat. The iPad covers up the lower HUD when I'm streaming. That's my excuse. All right. Well, this is good. We get to figure out the death mechanics here. Oh, I didn't put the I didn't put down a campfire. So where's it going to respawn me? You had to cross the entire island to play with your friends? That's rough. Final Fantasy XIV kind of has a similar issue, right? You have to get to air travel before you can play with your friends, because depending on your class, you start off in a different city. Okay, I got to read this message. I'm going to move the iPad here. So the servers are going down today at 12:30 p.m. So we have about 40 minutes. That's fine. Oh, death reduced my durability? Okay, where do I repair? Kitchen. Well, how bad is it? These look okay. I assume that's the durability bar down below. So I think I'll be okay if I don't repair right now. It's my first death. How many of you play and enjoy this game? Or how many of you played this game? $20. Wow, okay. That's fairly decent. Level 21. So you guys, how are you guys doing? Are you enjoying it so far? Why do you play? I'm very curious. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing everyone else is doing. I'm going to put a campfire down here. This will be my immediate respawn point if I do something stupid like not eat again. A lot of the time is in queue. Well, the queues seem to be gone. For new servers, at least. I don't know if you need a beefy computer to play this. I mean, this is a 2070, and it's running really well on a 2070. But I suspect it runs well on a lot of machines. But I don't know. I haven't. I'll ask you guys. All right, I'll try to block. I have broken my vow. I have blocked. Yeah, 1070, you're getting 60 FPS. Yeah, I get the feeling, just from the frame rate I'm getting on this system, that it should run pretty well on lower end systems. No chest in here. No blocking. Blocking is for the weak. I've dumped all my points into strength. Okay, so you see my hit points are down. I better eat something. Enemies run away in combat to try for range. That's going to be so frustrating for melee. So at higher levels, they run away. See, I need 3 more notes. TNT. Can you actually shoot those barrels to make them explode? We'll have to search house to house for these chests. I blocked there. Up. Just want to see if I could do it. If I could time it. This chest is not glowing. Ow, thanks for the train. There we go. Ooh. Okay, we have provisions. If you've been watching the Lazy Peon MMO Bite or Josh Strife Hayes, you know what it takes for an MMO to be popular is for it not to suck. That's how low the bar is. Well, okay, I get that, but this is more popular than single player games. This is one of the most successful game launches of all time, with 700,000 concurrent. That is nuts. Okay, so it's more than just not sucking. Something else is going on. 2 more notes. No, they're not all in queue. That's I mean, I had 0 queue getting in today. So it's not that everyone is stuck in queue. They've really done a lot to address that, apparently. I just hopped right in. Maybe there are crowded servers early on that, you know, that have huge queues and I just don't know about them, but I haven't had any issues. Yeah, people are enjoying this game. You got to remember what this is launching against. Diablo Resurrected is out, okay? And yeah, that's a reboot of an older game. Oh, I hate reading these quest things. Read it later. Why isn't he attacking that player? Why was he attacking me? Oh, here we go. Okay. Quadrana says, I think part of it, the popularity, has to do with some have said there hasn't been many super new MMO IDs released in quite a few years. I would say that's true. We've had I mean, there's been very little investment in MMOs aside from Asian MMOs. So we've had a lot of grindy MMOs, but we haven't had a major Western MMO release in a while. But I'm telling you, I think a huge reason for it is WoW. Is because WoW no longer dominates, and so many players have left, and they're looking for something. And anything will do. Any port in a storm, right? One more scrap. Is there one in here? Some did. I don't think I can compare this to WoW because because the things I like about WoW aren't in this game, and you know, for instance, there's no combat rotation, right? And you have 2 abilities. It's action-oriented combat. Very different style of combat from WoW, which is not good or bad. It's just different. The world design, to me, does not appeal to me as much as high fantasy like WoW, right? I'm much more into that. So I think this game is just starting off really negative for me because I just don't like the theme, you know? I'm playing it because I want to figure out if the gameplay is good. And the gameplay is very polished. You know, that's the other thing, is that this is a very polished game. Combat's very basic. I would say that Dark Souls and even Valheim does combat a little more interestingly. Because in Valheim, you can kind of get... It's a simple combat system, but you can kind of get a rhythm going. And here I don't sense that. Here I'm just kind of spamming the button and blocking. And I'm sure it changes. I'm sure I'll have to, like, play intelligently later on. Because you don't want to have players constantly have every battle be a mental taxing thing, right? Because you're fighting a lot. No cat girls, Giga says. Dead on arrival. Yeah, I should apply my level up points. I just didn't want to do it in the middle of town. And I didn't do it at the beginning of the game because we were just getting started. So the UI is interesting. There's no mouse cursor until you hit the escape key. And you know, we had to deal with this in Firefall too. And I think that in Firefall we tried to be a little too clever with the pop-up scrolling menus and stuff. And just something straightforward like this, simpler, easier. I think they did a good job just choosing to go with this. All right, so we dump everything to strength because that's just the way I'm playing this character. I decided it's going to be One Punch Man. And we're going to get a weapon mastery here. I have a point to spend in sword. So you skill up by weapon. And I don't care about sword, so I'm just going to take, let's see. I don't block, so... Stamina dodge. I don't dodge. Defiant stance. Okay, we'll just take that. So I joked about this death stealth. I said, where is it written that MMO combat has to be worse than single player combat in all regards? I don't know. But it generally seems to be the case, right? And you could break that down to, MMOs have harder networking issues and timing issues, but I mean, you've got shooters where you've got, 200 players on a map in some cases, and they have to deal with much tighter timing things. I don't think there's an excuse. My personal belief is I don't think there's an excuse for MMO combat to not be as good as single-player combat. Okay, if you can, and obviously there are issues, but if you can play Street Fighter over a network, you should be able to have pretty good combat for an MMO. And look at Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has... It doesn't feel like compromised shooting gameplay. It feels like really good shooting gameplay. Now, some would argue that it's not good compared to their favorite shooter, but you never feel like it's an MMO, right? You never feel like it's got... You don't have that MMO excuse that, oh, the combat's janky because it's an MMO and MMOs have networking requirements. I think that's BS, to be honest. I think you can do it fine. We did it in Firefall, right? And that was running on much older server hardware. I do want to try the Battlefield 2042 open beta if I don't get in trouble with you guys for not, working on the game. But I think that's an important game to play too. So I'll ask you guys for permission. Shamoos, yeah, I know it's like local matchmaking and there's a server-side component. But even then, just from my direct experience on Firefall, I don't feel like, if we can get decent shooter gameplay, and PlanetSide can get decent shooter gameplay, there's no reason why melee combat, which is a lot less demanding on network, shouldn't be satisfying for an MMO. If you're going for that action-oriented thing, right? Oh, this is interesting. So, daily bonuses 3. I don't know what that is. I'm an adept. I guess that's my rank. I can buy rewards. These are missions I can undertake. Looks like I can't really afford anything yet, but there's some cool cosmetics. Okay, faction-based stuff. I mean, all this is well done. It's just not my bag. This theme. Oh, okay, I have to complete a faction mission and report back to the magistrate. Can I just go to another zone? Is it zone-based? Like, can I go over here and pick up quests in this area? Oh, there. Wait. Wow, the font is really small. Does that say levels 26 to 35? And this is 1 through 25? And then, oh, that's interesting. So I'm cut off. And these are higher level zones here. This is 50 to 60. 41 to 50. So one thing that obviously Firefall did differently and we're doing differently in Ember is that we don't have levels, we have tiers, but they're not restricted by zones like this. The dynamic events kind of are planned to occur appropriate to the tier of the players that they're for in the area. And that way we hope to use a lot of the map and have players kind of go anywhere. So I can't run over here. As much as I'd like to just explore the world right now, I'm kind of stuck in this area to do these quests until I reach about 25, or I presume I'm just going to be killed rapidly if I go out there. Yep, the yellow zone. But these are faction controlled, right? Can I go into this? Oh, yes, because they removed the PvP thing unless you're flagged. So I could totally run into there. But can I do their quests? All right, let's try that. Let's go traveling. Let's go traveling. I guess we'll follow this road. We kind of have to go northwest. Was I on the Firefall team when the backer rewards were sent out? I was on the Firefall team through beta, but not at launch. And backer rewards were sent out during beta. Like the bikes and stuff. Don't forget, hydrate. I got a drink too. Where is my hydration bar? Mana, stamina, health. Oh, IRL. Okay, I'll take a sip right now. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Shamoose. Main quest is tied to the starting zone until you get the quest to speak to the hermit. Okay, so I guess I gotta do the faction quest here. So, complete missions from a faction board and report. So they really want you to do this. Okay. How do I get back to my here? And I want to get there. Syndicate. Scoob, you mean like a melding tornado or something? Yeah, jetpack and shooting. And melding tornadoes. Okay, so seems like faction grinding is going to be huge in this game. So I should purge the mission. Enemy level 10. I can probably do that. So I have accepted that. No, don't abandon it. I can take more than one. Procure hatchberg. The syndicate has learned there's a couple of cache about. Oh, a fishery. Will this say unlock fishing for me? I'd say we try it. Vanu, because they're purple. Bottom row or PvP. Okay. No, I'm not going to do PvP. So let's do this. All right, we got some faction-based quests here. We're going to go to the fishery first. Because I want to see if it has anything to do with fishing. Oh, the physical rewards. Like the Arclight poster and the beanie. To fish, you just need to craft a fishing pole and press F3. Okay, let's do that, because I definitely want to fish. Especially if I'm going to a fishery. I'm glad you like the beanie. Everyone tells me I still got my beanie from Firefall, and that warms my heart. Beanies were popular. Okay, I'm supposed to pick these up too. Lodestone. Okay. So where do I craft a fishing pole? I guess over at the woodworking station. Biding time. I'm assuming I just have to collect these. I don't even bother reading them. Stone. Workshop tier 2. So a wooden fishing pole, I have to be a tier 2 crafter? At the workshop, there's an arrow and musket on the sign. So not here? It says I can craft a fishing pole here, but it's tier 2. I'm not a tier 2 crafter. No, I found it. That was the one? Okay. So what do I have to do to become a tier 2 crafter? I need fiber.
Fiber will help you become a regular crafter.
How far have you gotten in this, Ronan?
That was a constipation joke. No, I haven't actually played it yet.
Oh, that was a joke. Okay.
Regular fiber. Never mind. Yeah. I have not been entirely interested in it, to be honest with you. It looks much like you. I saw it and I'm like, that looks bland. So
Hemp.
if I played, it will be simply for research. I just
I am actually regretting the purchase. That's how I feel right now because it's not that it's a bad game. It's just not my thing, you know?
yeah
And
yeah
I nothing about this is bad. It's well put together, it's well polished. Everything works as it should. I think it delivers on its theme, but that theme isn't for me, right?
yeah. I I kind of so Ember, much like Firefall, is unique because of the because like you were talking about, the combat is so good, is so worthy of a shooter that you'll get a lot of people playing it who would otherwise not play an MMO. Like literally people who, do you like MMOs? No. But do you like shooters? Yes. Well, then you should try out Ember, right? I kind of lean on that side of the fence where the MMO aspect is practically irrelevant to me. It's the amazing movement, the feel of combat, the openness of the world, which the MMO part that does interest me is simply the idea of doing it with friends, doing it together, you know. But it's like, so when I see a game like New World, it just I mean I literally am like, what even is interesting? I got nothing. Now,
I
if the
got a cool
combat,
bridge for you.
I do like the bridge. I like. So you're learning too much about me. You know, I like fancy backwraps and stuff. Now you know things. No, but I really, if the combat was on par with something like Dark Souls or something, right? As you were saying, why does MMO, why do their combat have to be second rate to like a single player game? That's the thing. You give me an MMO with combat on par with a single player game, in that same range.
Or
Now I'm
Monster Hunter World, right? I
yeah,
mean, that is a lobby based game. It's not a true MMO, but still, it is online, so it's networked at least.
Yes, exactly. And I played the crap out of that, or I did. Like, I don't know, a couple hundred hours at least I put into Monster Hunter World because the experience, the moment to moment combat, and facing down those big freaking, dino dragony things, like, is worth it to me. And I would wager there are tons of people in our community and people out in the world who they will be drawn to Ember because it plays so good, like it actually just plays good, even right now in its early state. And I think that if more MMOs could kind of capture that, I think that would have a lot to do with creating a real resurgence in the genre. But anyway, I'll let you get back to.
No, thank you for that observation. And the plug. Oh no, it's more searching chests. Okay, one thing that bothers me about standard MMO design is exactly this: is that you have points of interest, they have mobs, they never ever change, and they're always in the same place over and over again. And what Firefall was trying to do was to make the world much more dynamic. And Guild Wars 2 had dynamic events, but they spawned in the same place over and over again, right? And Firefall was really about these sort of events happening anywhere to you and having a sort of like AI dungeon master that would guide the experience. So when I see this, I don't mind it, but it can't just be the only thing. Like, we've had this for 20 years, I'd like to see more of an experiment with, time and... Oh, good, there's a chest up here. This place looks exactly like the other village I was at. This is a different village, right? I'm not at the same place? Because it feels like I'm exactly in the same place. Which bugs me. Crafting avoids the quest system, so you could just craft your way through the game. That's interesting to me. Yeah, I'm not going to upgrade right here. So we have one chest.
Can I add a couple other things, tidbits of thoughts
Go
I have?
right ahead, Ronan.
Okay, perfect. So the one of the things I've noticed about normal MMO design with rotations and things like that is that they pretty much play. It's the only type of game that plays that way. So what that means is if you haven't played MMOs in the past, there's a learning curve to understand them when you first join in. Whereas an MMO that plays, say, similar to a shooter or an action RPG, a game like that, that same barrier to entry is not there.
Well, I
So
think that's why they simplified it here, right? There's no rotation here, and that could be one reason why this game is popular because there's no rotation. I I don't have to sit here and look over the stats. I don't even need to use my abilities in the early levels. You get a
right,
lot of you get inundated with a lot of icons and stats in a traditional MMO, right?
exactly, exactly. So this one kind of, this one and a few others, it kind of skips that. Some years back, I remember being excited about Terra because they were saying, "Oh, it's like a true action MMO." I was like, "Cool, cool." I jumped on there so excited to just get into the action, and it still had a lot of the icons MMO rotation type stuff. I was like, "Okay." So, still not quite.
Well, I think that's also the reason why they've automated so much of the rotations in modern MMOs is to try to reach that more casual audience.
Yeah.
Some games even prompt you, this is the rotation. They highlight what button you should push next.
And I think that what you end up with on a lot of that stuff is
Hey, Vino.
instead of a deep action RPG style game, you just end up with a weak MMO style combat system. Instead of being a good version of either, it's just kind of a weak sauce version that is it's not either one of them. It's just kind of meh, you know, and I think we need more of these MMOs to forego what was in the past and really just embrace, what do we want our combat to be? What do we want our movement to be? Let go of the idea. Like you talk about this often, that when you made World of Warcraft, it got so huge and everybody started to copy. And so it's become a thought process where if we're making an MMO, and I've heard a lot of designers talk about this, I hear them say, "So do we want to do tab targeting?" Like,
Yeah.
like as soon as you say MMO, that conversation comes up. But it's like, you should do tab targeting because you want to, or not do it because you don't want to. It shouldn't be, well, it's an MMO, right? No. It's just,
Exactly. Um, yeah, there's a place for tab targeting, but increasingly it feels more like, is this a turn-based game or a real-time based game? Turn-based strategy or real-time strategy, right? Tab targeting, not tab targeting. So someone's asking in Twitch chat, maybe this game would be more interesting if you could equip a shield. You actually can, and you can put it in your offhand if you're not using like a hammer, and you can block with a shield. See, there's a shield thing in here. You can also have a secondary weapon here. So I could actually, I haven't tried a staff yet. Let's try that. So they say you can weave weapons. Oh, thanks for the train. Something's never changed in MMOs. Yep, there's the train. And you're just gonna
that's my
leave
favorite
me,
part.
aren't you? Yeah, you bastard.
That is my favorite bad moment in MMOs. Like, it's so bad, but it is so amazing.
All right, so you can switch right now. Oh, ow. Oh, that's interesting. I wasn't even aiming at him. Look, I can just keep the crosshair off him.
So the first time I
And then-
played oh, sorry.
Okay, so I guess, that's the other dimension here is you can weapon weave. So, I can switch between the staff and the hammer. Or if I have a sword, then I can have a shield too. Well, I'm not saying get rid of rotations. I mean the meta where it's all about the rotation, where you have like a plethora of abilities on the screen, and you have to hit the number keys 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over and over like that. Right? That's a style of gameplay. That's not in every game. God of War doesn't play like that. Valheim doesn't play like that, right? So I wouldn't say that every game boils down to that type of rotation. I understand what you mean, that there is a min-maxing aspect to it, and you should do this here and that there. Where are you running to? Are you in trouble, or are you just training me?
The first time I played an
Oh,
MMO,
now I'm missing. How come the shots aren't hitting him? That was weird. Weren't they hitting him even though I wasn't aiming before? Now I have to aim? How's this work? Maybe I was just really good with my random aiming and hitting them by accident. Are the zombies farming the field? They don't need food. I don't know why they'd be farming. Oh, I'm gonna... Let's see if I can survive this.
I wanted to address something that's been talked about earlier. You know, why is Grumps playing games instead of working on a game? So, guys, have you ever been like you're playing a game and the designers have put in something that you feel like, don't they know they've come up with much better options for this concept right here? Like, don't they know? Why are they still doing this old crappy thing? Or how are they making it seem so hard to answer this question that's been figured out in so many games, right? Like,
how do you think every Blizzard game was made? We played a lot of games, and we said, take this element from here, take that element from here. These are good ideas. Combine them, polish them, add our own spin on them. That's how we do it. I mean, game developers have to play games. You have to consume the media if you're going to design for the media.
Absolutely. And there's a specific phrase, player empathy, that gets talked about a lot in game design. And the simplest way to describe it is you have to be able to see from the mind of a player. You have to be able to experience something and understand what it feels like as a player. As a game dev, you spend so much time working on your own game that it's easy for a lot of them to kind of lose touch. But one of the things that really helps is you go be a noob in some other game, and you get reminded real fast of what it's like to not know a system in and out. And you're just like, what is this? Well, and it changes your perception. So when you go back to your own game, you're like, am I doing that? You know? Like,
well, Laughing Man brings up EverQuest, and WoW would not have existed if EverQuest hadn't come out, because we were playing the heck out of that game, and that's what made us and Ultima Online, and that's what made us decide to do an MMO. And we borrowed elements from it, and we figured out what worked and didn't work. Otherwise, game development, if you never touched a game, especially in a valuable context like this, where I'm trying to understand the game with the potential audience, right? And I'm interacting with them and getting their take on it as I played. That's something we couldn't do back when we were doing WoW, right? We couldn't stream EQ and be like, okay, what are you guys liking about this stream and not liking about this stream? That is so valuable. That is so valuable because it immediately tells me what you guys like and what I should and shouldn't focus on for Em8er, right? Because I'm playing this no matter what in order to understand. Because, I mean, how can you not play it? It is the most successful MMO launch maybe of all time in the West. In China, you can have some pretty huge launches just because of the size of the population. But in the West, this is probably the single biggest MMO launch ever. Ever. And some people are like, why are you playing it? Well, get back to making your game. It's like, because I have to understand this phenomenon, and I have to understand it, or I would not be a professional game dev. I would be a negligent, awful game dev. And you guys, and if it was that good, and you guys were like, hey, in New World, you know when you can do this and this, that's really cool. Can we have that for Em8er? It's like, I don't play that shit. Sorry, I'm working on my game. F you. I don't care. No, it's really cool. You should pay attention. No, I only make the game 24/7. That's all I do. I don't have time to play. I don't care how cool it is.
and it's like, would you does anybody want a game to be made by someone who's not enjoying games and interested in them in general? Like, do you want that game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. I want a game made by someone with passion who loves the genre, who loves the medium.
I'll give you another example. When we hire gamers, right? And there's a very important reason for this, because it makes communication faster. And people used to ask me at Blizzard all the time, why do you insist that the people you hire on your teams play games? I was like, well, let me give you an example. If I go to a programmer and I have a great idea for a gameplay element, it's like, it's really cool. It's just like, I want this moment to feel like Pac-Man where you're eating the dots. And the developer, because he plays games, says, yeah, I get it. I play Pac-Man, sure. And he goes and does it. If that programmer never played Pac-Man, didn't game, because they're spending all their time making games and had a vacuum. I would have to write a 15-page design doc on how Pac-Man works to get a simple feature into the game. Playing games is
Oh my God.
designer shorthand. It allows a team to communicate ideas effectively, to relate concepts with the community and the development team. It is essential if you're going to be a game developer. That's my feeling of it. Yeah, imagine explaining Pac-Man to someone who's never played it.
Yeah, and trying to explain something in words is like you said, a 15-page design doc, and sometimes you wonder, will you still really get it across?
No, because there's an intangible element. There's an element that
Exactly.
cannot be described in paper, right? Otherwise, we could develop games like we're making spreadsheets. Okay, it has this feature, it has that feature. You know, there's no feel to a spreadsheet, right? But there is to a game. There's something that is like, I cannot communicate, this timing of a swing, whether it's good or bad. It's like, hey, I want it to feel like it has weight. Okay, what does that mean? Do I have to tell you how many milliseconds the swing is, the exact parabolic arc it must, comprise? Or do I tell you, hey, in Valheim, when you swing that frost hammer and you make that big epic AoE and everyone gets knocked back, make it feel like that. And the developers go, I totally know what you mean. And they go do it. If we never played these games, we would never know. And more importantly, if we never played them, if we don't take advantage of new opportunities like this, interacting with our community and having you watch us play the game and react off of it, I wouldn't know what you guys like and don't like. And I'd be taking shots into the dark for Em8er about what would be good or bad for the game and what you like and don't like. And this saves a lot of trial and error.
Absolutely.
Okay. Am I going to be in trouble here? What level are these guys? 9. 9 should be fine. Oh, he's got kind of a Western theme going on here. All right. So, defeat corrupted at Hilltop Encampment. I choose you. Ooh, you hit hard. Probably shouldn't fight in a tent. Oh, you are running away. That's annoying. Okay, let's eat some food. Not be like last time. I have to like lift my head over the iPad to see what's going on my health bar. Because I've got it right next to my monitor so I can see chat. All right. Yeah, and so for whoever, I even, if you have a problem with me streaming the game right now instead of working on, quote unquote, working on Em8er, just DM me, and I'll have you know that I woke up at 6 a.m. to do art calls this morning. So I've already been working many hours before the stream even started. Okay? I wake up super early, and I work on the game, and I do my team calls. And prep assets. And then I take 2 hours to stream. So, give me a break. How many of you roll out of bed at 5 a.m., hop on the computer in 15 minutes and start working? All right. Maybe some of you. Some of you have, like, really tough jobs. I'm not saying I have a tough job. Making games is hard, but it's not the toughest job you can have. I'm just saying that I do work. Oh, dang it. Second death so far. And I didn't build a campfire. I am so screwed. Is anyone going to revive me? Can you revive other players, or do you have to be like a healing staff or something? Help me. Oh, is he going to revive me? Yes! Yes! Thank you! Oh, that's global. I just said it to everybody. Okay. Okay, before I do something stupid, I should really build a campfire. I was just too busy ranting about why game devs play games to not actually play the game. Restricted in landmarks. I gotta be farther away. Okay, probably where this guy is, huh? Hold Y. Okay, I want to unbind from that camp, and I want to build another one right here. This is kind of weird that everyone drops their camps in the same place on the road, and I saw one screenshot where it was literally like 25 campfires. That breaks immersion a tiny bit for me, but I understand why it happens. Yeah, most people ask, desktop, yeah, do devs even play their own games? And a lot of times they don't, because I'll tell you what happens. When you're working on a game and it's not a fun game, when it launches, you don't play it. And we used to say at Blizzard, you know you got a good game when after you've been killing yourself making the game, you can't wait for launch day to hop on and play. Like that is a sign that your game dev was going good. So yeah, devs don't play their game if it's going bad, you know, because they're so sick of it. They've been working on it for such a long time and crunching on it. I might have to start blocking here, guys. I don't know if I can one punch man through this whole game. Let's see. I'm not going to take his kill. I don't know if there's kill stealing in this game. Probably not. That's a solved problem. Do we all get credit? Oh! Oh, he shot me! Oh, dude. He's gonna, like... He's gonna... Phew. I think I need better food. Loot stealing is a thing. Zand, I guess it is kind of realistic, but I wouldn't say that being bland or not. I mean, you can have like a cartoony game still look bland. You know, so I don't think that when I say that this looks bland to me, that I'm reacting to the graphics being realistic. Let's take a look out here. What I'm talking about is the theme, like this sort of like conquistador thing going on, and it doesn't appeal to me, right? But then there's a lot of people who love games that have a more realistic, historical type of feel to them. And I totally get that. Like, when we were making StarCraft, there was this little-known European game at the time, an RTS, that was period-specific. What was it? Anno 1502 or something like that? And we didn't think anything of it, because everything else that we did at Blizzard was high sci-fi, high fantasy, things like that. And of course, it launched and it smashed records in Europe and became super popular. Or World of Tanks, right? Very sort of like period realistic stuff. That stuff does really well with certain audiences. So please understand, when I say it looks bland to me, that may not be your mileage, you know? That may not be your mileage. Okay, I gotta like snake down this path, because there's probably falling damage, and I don't want to take falling damage. Yeah, I know. It was a good game. And it became a blockbuster series. Just as popular as StarCraft or Warcraft in Europe. No, I've never heard of Renegade X Firestorm. Is that an RTS? Anybody play RTSs still? 5 minutes until shutdown. Oh, we'll go to Chief Chat after this. After the server shut down, we'll go to Chief Chat, and I think we'll do a couple raffles. I do remember Age of Empires. So good, yeah. You know, the one of the lead designers of that and the founder of the studio had narcolepsy. So I mean, he came visit Blizzard, and he was like, "If I fall asleep on you, don't be offended." I can't imagine going through life with narcolepsy. What that must be like. Can you drive if you have narcolepsy? All right, we got to go back home.
Not very far. No, that's a good.
Well, I think you can be medicated, right? So there's. I mean, obviously, you can game and you can be a world-class game developer with narcolepsy. It's not limiting you, but what happens if you know? Yeah, I know nothing about it. Okay, I don't want to be in this zombie
But yeah,
farming field again.
I actually have a friend with that condition, and it's a whole thing. It's properly held in check by medication for him, so it's
Okay.
worked out. But he says that some people aren't that lucky, and that there's really basically they can lessen it, but it's so bad that they just can't do things like driving. And
Wow. Yeah. And yet people do amazing things like make Age of Empires.
it's incredible. I love to hear about people who don't let a limitation like that actually limit them. I think
It's inspiring, isn't it? Because it's like, well, what it's like, okay, I don't have narcolepsy. What's my excuse?
exactly, exactly.
Why can't you make Age of Empires 11?
Uh-huh. And you asked, do people still play RTSs? I know there are a few RTS fans out there. They brought it up, even on the community team. There's a couple of us, and there's other people. Like, the genre still has a spark, but I don't know if there's been anything out that, like, set it to flame in a while. I don't know what the deal is, but I'd love to see more.
I think something could, right? And I know that I think, the ex Blizzard staffers who all left to do Dreamhaven, one of the games is going to be an RTS. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. All right.
I think that'll be interesting. Oh, I totally forgot to get hemp. I don't know where to get hemp. There we go. Am I gathering? What's going on?
After you gather the hemp, you will then need to gather the munchies.
What am I doing wrong here, guys? Do I not have a sickle equipped? I thought I had... Yeah, I've got a sickle equipped. Yeah, I have a sickle. Do I have to switch to crafting weapon or something like that? Do I have to hot slot it? Repair unequipped, link to chat, lock. Maybe the plant is bugged. Maybe it's because the servers are going down. This doesn't look like hemp. This is herbs. We got herbs, we got hemp. Now we need the munchies. Darn it. I really wanted to make a fishing pole before the servers went down. Giga. Yeah, not that kind of shutdown. Sometimes I can get into an MMO like this if it's just relaxing. If it's not a lot of thinking and it's not very hard and it's just enjoyable to go through the motions. And I'm starting to get into that zone with this, so maybe that'll be like that type of game for me. I don't know. But I'm enjoying it a little more today than I was yesterday. How's that? Again, you really can't form... I don't think you can form an opinion of MMO until you get to a decent amount of hours in. I say that only because I didn't like Final Fantasy XIV when I first played it for 3 hours, but then when I came back to it, I totally loved it. Why did you give me this die? Join Outpost Rush? What's that? Oh, it's a 20 by 20 large island match on 3 outposts. Okay. Didn't I complete these? Okay, complete. All right, and complete. Okay. And got 290 tokens, and I still can't buy anything. We tend to set the bar low in WoW so that the first rewards you get, you can buy something, right? Just to get you hooked on the system and give you a reward. So I'm kind of disappointed that the first 2 board missions I undertook that I can't immediately buy a little tchotchke or something.
I greet
Just to
you in
reinforce
respect
that
and
gameplay
mutual
loop, you know?
respect, fellow scholar.
All right, talk to Gladys Bond. Yeah, the low-end stuff is trash, but it's there to really serve a purpose. It's to, like I said, reinforce that gameplay loop, get you used to spending what you made.
Things about you and your new friends. I think you chose well in your allegiance.
All right. There is rest XP, general chat's saying. Okay, do I have to be in an inn or can I just be in town here? I think this is the inn or the tavern. Oh, we should spend some of these points. All right, we're dumping everything into strength because we're a sophisticated gamer. Oh, we have achievements. I have the no voice chat achievement because I turned it off. That's funny. Only plays solo. I've never teamed with anyone. Doesn't duel. Have I turned down a duel? I don't know. Oh, I can claim them? What happens when I claim them? I just get completion. Oh, I got an upgrade, though. Strike the ground around the target, dealing 120. Sure, okay. I like the active abilities before I go for the passives. Just because I want to experience combat more. Okay, I think I spent all my points. I just have to be in town to get the rest XP? Okay. Crafting is meaningful, says Sparky68. Something I haven't been able to say about WoW in ages. Yeah, you know, is this the way that you get most of your gear is by crafting? Or are there drops? Or is it both? But what you craft is useful to you? Yeah, passive help the actives. I just want to fill up my little active bar, and then I'll go for the passives. There are drops. Okay. Yeah, I like crafting to be meaningful. That's why, you know, in Ember, everything is crafted, right? So, all your frames, your abilities, your weapons, things like that. All right, guys, I'm going to switch over to Chief Chat because the servers are going down right about now, actually. So, I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to head over to Chief Chat, and let's do some raffles for Ember as a thank you for watching the stream. So make sure you join us on our Discord right now, and I will see you there. All right, take care.